Okay, what was the last question I asked you?
What are my claims?
Yeah, let's start from there. So what are your claims?
Well, that I was born in Hollow Earth, and that I'm here to give, my mission is to bring forth the contents of Admiral Byrd's message that was given to him by the Council of the Hollow Earth, the Orionians, master of the world, that the people of Hollow Earth are your sisters and brothers that love you dearly, that are very concerned for your welfare, and they're now preparing to come to the surface. The Agarthians are already on the surface, and they're doing their work quite diligently. And the work they're doing is to clear up the atmosphere, clear up your air quality, cleanse the pollutions that are in your oceans, clear up the oil that's in the Gulf of Mexico, and the poisons that it's producing. Also, another claim is that the Earth is about to go through a physical change as well as higher dimensional change, and this will be taking place before the end of this year. When my father put it to me was that even though I know the exact date and time, I can't tell them because it would be wrong to do so. And that they're God, and they are the creator. They are the healers of their world. They are the creators of their world, even though they've been taught otherwise. You're asking me about the headbands.
I will get to that in a moment. I want to talk to you about your DD-214.
DD-214, from the separation from the military.
Why don't you tell us why don't you tell the audience what your rank was in the military?
My rank was full bird colonel.
How long you were in?
I was in for 11.5 years. That was active duty, and then another 5 years inactive after that. So my DD-214 that I had received upon exiting the military was all put in a record box by me, sealed and put away for shipping because I was being reassigned. And upon the reassignment, we were being moved by U.S. military government movers. And conveniently, all my box of military discharge and all this was conveniently lost. And I went to get another copy of the DD-214 and discovered I ran into a brick wall of presidential closure. It states in that whenever you try and pull my records up, it says sealed by order of the president.
So if a person who has the capability of authority, if you will, of requesting a copy of a DD-214, be it you or some other agency, what they're going to get back is a message that your record has been sealed.
Most likely. The last time I attempted to get one, that's what I ran into.
Okay. Why don't you tell us about your headband?
The headband is a combination of copper, quartz crystal, and gold. Gold is used because it gives a higher vibration, a higher frequency. Initially, the initial band was designed using a silver disc which does the same thing, but it doesn't do it as fast. It takes a little more time. But it does work. It does definitely change your outlook, changes your, it works on your immune system, it works on your focus, it works on your clarity. It is an intergalactic communication device for communicating intergalactically. And it works, of which you are quite familiar with.
Yes, I did try it on, and I went on a nice little trip. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to ask you a couple closing questions, and we'll get on to Zora.
Okay.
What is the legacy you want to leave behind?
The legacy I want to leave behind? That I was able to give out the information required for my mission, to let people know that they're not limited beings, that they are gods, that they are healers. From the smallest child to the eldest of elders are healers on this planet. You're not limited, you only limit yourself. You are immortal, in essence. You have the capability, it's even told of in your Bible, that you have the power of the gods. And it was foretold in the Old Testament when God said, let us make man in our image, in our likeness, and with our powers and abilities. You won't find that in any American Standard Bible or King James Bible, but it's in the original Dead Sea Scrolls. So that tells you right there you're God. And it's not mentioned in the Bible because they don't want you to know that. So,
what is channeling?
What is channeling? Well, in most cases, the channels that I have experienced, they sit in a chair and they talk and give a bunch of information. But they don't get up and walk around. They don't interact. That's been my experience with channelers. However, when it came to Ramtha, that was not so. Ramtha would get up, walk around, hug people, talk to them, interact with them. The same thing with my father. He does exactly the same thing.
What is your father's name?
Zora.
Are we going to meet your father?
Yes, you are.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay.
You want to take a break first?
It's up to you.
Okay, I'm good.
You want to take a break? Okay, good. All right.
We'll talk to you later, dear.
Yeah, right.
Get some rest.
So you want to describe,
fun.
before you go in, you want to describe the process you're going through?
I am basically,
What we're about to see.
what I am doing is I am giving up myself to my father. He is going to be coming into me, and I'm going to be going into him. Where he is, I will be. Where I am, he will be.
When you go there and you come back, do you remember what you did when you were over there?
Yeah. When I'm over there.
But when you come back?
When I come back, I don't know hardly anything of what took place here. I need to be filled in on it.
Yeah, so when he comes back, you could ask him.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll ask Zora where he's been and what he's doing.
Yeah. Well, I have a hunch I'm going to be at the North Pole. I think. That's my guess.
Okay.
Of course, that's not set in stone. I might end up on the back of a pterodactyl or a T-Rex or something like that.
Yeah, so is this a pterodactyl? Can you bungee jump after pterodactyl? Can you do that?
Bungee jump off of a pterodactyl? I don't think you can
I would like that.
I don't think he likes something hanging down from him.
No.
But Anyway,
sort of called
so I'm going to be quiet here for a moment and allow him to come forth. I do go through a change. My breathing gets heavier, I'm sure, and my countenance changes. I start talking with an accent, which I don't normally do, but yet there it is. Well, you'll see. Indeed.
Hello.
And how be you?
I'm well. You're, just so you know, you're on camera. We're doing an interview with Billy. Billy's gone. You're here now.
Indeed.
We wanted to ask you some questions. Just was curious about Billy's upbringing.
Upbringing?
Yes. Can you tell us a bit about how he came to be selected for coming to the surface?
We needed what would be termed as ambassadors to come to the surface, to give forth what would be termed as the message that was given to Rear Admiral Richard Evelyn Byrd to give to the surface world, which he was prevented from doing as far as the military was concerned. And so Billy and his sister was asked to do so. And first they asked me, and I said, I will ask and see. And we did. We asked them, and they agreed.
I understand that the measurement of age...
Age is an illusion.
On the surface is different from what it is in hollow Earth.
Of course.
You speak of trips around the sun.
Indeed.
How many trips around the sun were Billy and his sister by the time that you asked them to become ambassadors?
Would have been 1800, exactly.
1800 exactly.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
They were twins, and they were identical.
Okay. I understand they were deposited on the surface.
Indeed they were.
Who did that?
That was done by a delegation that we sent forth to take them to the surface. It was done by aeroship, elusive aeroship. The vessel appeared in what would be termed as over the skies of Texas. And it was in the middle of the night, and they were deposited in a city park, garbage receptacle, and also we watched over them to make sure that they were discovered,
Okay.
at which time the vessel that was waiting in the cloud departed.
Were you there in the delegation?
No, I was in doing my North Polar opening observation.
Is that what you were doing before you arrived just now?
Indeed, I was.
Is that where Billy is now?
That is where he is now.
So you have a recollection, you can remember what you were doing just before you got here.
Indeed.
Is it ever an interruption in what you're doing when Billy calls on you?
An interruption?
Sure. Maybe you have something that you need to finish.
No, it is a joy.
Yeah, okay. All right. So, people get busy. They get involved in things, and it just seems it could be possible that you're not available. Has that ever happened?
Very seldom.
Okay. When Billy comes back,
Indeed.
will he remember having been over there?
Indeed.
Will he remember what he was doing?
Indeed.
So when he comes back, I can ask him.
Of course.
I shall. I'll ask you a question I asked Billy.
Indeed.
What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind?
A legacy I'm leaving behind?
Yes, what kind of a legacy?
I am not leaving behind a legacy. I will be continuing on. I will be speaking forth through another individual.
Okay.
I will not be leaving any legacy.
So when you say you're speaking forth from another individual, you're talking about somebody else
Channeling through them.
channeling. Okay. When that person is channeling you, or you're being channeled through them,
Indeed.
that should be interesting to see. So I'd like to make some comparisons. So I'm just wondering, have you started this yet? Have you started being channeled through this other person?
He has not agreed to do it yet.
Aha.
That would be Peter.
Okay. Interesting. Is it a skill that anybody can do?
If they give over of themselves and to allow it, then it can be done. The problem is that many peoples are very skeptical. Many peoples are very untrusting. So the object is to find someone who is ready to channel.
Is there anything you wish to share with us right now, as long as I've got the camera rolling?
What would you wish to know?
Anything you wish to share?
Billy is quite unique in that his metabolism is different than yours. Billy has what would be termed as two hearts. Billy has also what is termed as no blood type at all. His blood can be given to anyone, and it will act accordingly and sufficiently in their body.
O blood type?
Hmm?
Was it? What did you say? O or no?
No.
No
Blood type.
Well, that's interesting.
Indeed, it is.
Since when they give you your dog tags when you go in the military, they've got to type your blood.
Mm.
How does that work for him? So if he's ever injured,
It was no blood type.
no blood type, really.
It even stated it on the dog tags. No blood type.
Interesting.
Unknown.
Unknown.
Indeed.
Okay. Anything else you wish to share with us?
Well, it has been pretty well covered, I believe.
Okay.
However, you are God. And you know this to be true. You do not feel it now, but you will in the near future.
Can we look forward to a reunion?
A reunion
Mm-hmm.
of whom?
Inner Earth, Hollow Earth peoples with the surface peoples?
That is the purpose for the Agarthians coming to the surface. They are preparing the way for us to come to the surface. Your surface at this time is too toxic for the Hollow Earthians to come.
So is the idea for them to come to the surface?
Indeed.
Do they all want to come to the surface?
We are, because we are your brothers and sisters, and it is time for a reunion.
To reunite the family?
To reunite the worlds into one united planet.
Polar openings.
And what about them?
We have one in the north.
You have one in north and one in south.
The southernmost one,
Antarctica.
Antarctica, can't be viewed from the internet, Google Earth. The whole continent is obscured. I've read that there are some stories of the Nazis who used submarines to go underneath the continent. Are you aware of these entrances?
There are no entrances in what would be termed under the continent. You do have waterways through the ice that go into the entrances of the South Polar opening. At the time of Olaf Jensen, in the book called The Smoky God, Antarctica was not as immense as it is now. There were open waterways. I can show you, if you see a map, I can show you where the waterways were. So Olaf Jensen was able to sail his sloop, or sailing vessel, out through the polar opening and to go home. But unfortunately, there was a mishap and the sloop was destroyed. The father perished, but the son, Olaf Jensen, survived on what is termed as an ice pack, deposited on one. Now, because of the different temperatures, the drop in temperatures, those waterways are filled in. However, what you term as global warming is not global warming. It is us melting the ice around the openings so there can be contact with the outer world. It is not global warming. It is a planned event. We must open the waterways so you can bring your vessels, such as your cruise ships and things of this nature, into hollow earth. So what we are doing, we are melting the ice in one area, open the waterway up, and refreeze it against the far side, creating a waterway that is free of ice. And you term it global warming.
So there's no undercontinent passage to get to hollow Earth?
Not through the Antarctic, no.
Is there a place in hollow Earth called Agartha?
Hollow Earth, Agartha, is, in actuality, is a subterranean city. It is located beneath the continent, or the city, or the landmass known as Tibet. To gain entrance to this Agartha, you must go through what is termed a waterfall. You go behind it. And it's not too far from the capital of Tibet. There's a waterfall. You go behind the waterfall into a cave. Goes down at a little less than a 45-degree angle, going down. You get down to the bottom, you come to a great door with a symbol on the door, the symbol of Lemuria. And you, on that symbol, you put your hand upon it, it will open for you, if your heart and mind are in the right place. That is how you gain entrance to our world. You must be emotionally, from heart, ready. Through what is termed as your mind and vibration must be at a certain level, and you will be accepted. But most people on the surface are not ready.
Billy talks about going home.
Indeed.
You expecting to see him soon?
Indeed.
Has he completed his mission?
Almost.
What's left to do?
He has a few more meetings to go to.
What kind of meetings?
Speaking places, places to give forth knowledge to the masses.
I don't have any more questions, actually. So.
One place would be Hawaii.
Go ahead. What?
You could ask Zora, ask him to talk about himself. You've asked plenty of questions about Billy.
Yeah.
And what would you like to know about me?
How old are you?
How old am I?
How many trips around the sun?
Well, if you go by way of Earth years, I would be termed as 150,000 trips around the sun. And that is only in hollow Earth. Does not count before.
Okay, so that implies that you haven't always been in hollow Earth.
No,
Where were you before?
on the planet of Lemur.
Lemur's a planet. Where's Lemur?
You term it Nibiru.
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 Okay.
The true name is Lemur.
Is it part of a system of planets around a
It is
star?
on an elliptical orbit through your solar system.
Okay. So I've heard this story from Sitchin, Zachariah Sitchin. 3,600 year orbit, is that accurate?
That is accurate.
Where is it now?
On its way back in again.
Is it within the solar system?
Not yet.
When will it arrive?
When it arrives.
What's it like on Nibiru or Lemur?
Lemur, wondrous place. It is much larger than your planet Earth. When it comes through, it will have a gravitational force that will cause upheaval upon the face of this planet, but not as drastic as they are foretelling. Because the people of Lemur have the ability to lessen the effects of their planet upon other heavenly bodies. They have this ability to buffer the effects. The planet is very green. There are no deserts. It has a gentle rainfall, not harsh like it is on the surface. It is a wondrous place to be. The inhabitants are quite large in height. The atmosphere is pure. The oceans are pure. There are many races living upon it, besides Lemurian, from other star systems. And we are anxiously awaiting its return.
Does it have any moons?
2.
Is it orbiting a star?
Hmm?
Is it a rogue planet or is it in a system?
It is going through an elliptical orbit through your Milky Way system.
As one planet with 2 moons?
Hmm?
Or is it one planet with 2 moons that is also going around a star?
Around the center of your galaxy, your Milky Way.
One planet and 2 moons?
Mm-hmm.
That's all there is to the inbound planet?
Pretty much, yes.
Doesn't it get cold there?
No.
Out in space? There's no sun, no star that it's revolving around?
Why would it be?
Yeah, I'm thinking from the perspective of Earth and of many other solar systems that have planets revolving around
The
sun.
peoples that are on the planet give forth all the heat they need.
So there's no star.
No star. None needed.
Interesting.
Indeed.
How long were you on that planet before you came here?
A long time.
The cycles would be measured differently, I'd imagine. So we talk about cycles around the sun.
Well, see, there is no time.
Mm-hmm.
Time is an illusion. On the surface, you gauge time in years because of the seasons, things of this nature. But on the mirror, there is no seasons. It is all tropical all the time.
So what did you do on Lemur?
What did I do on the mirror? Well, I was what is termed as a lover of nature.
And here you are on Earth,
Indeed.
in Hollow Earth, still a lover of nature?
Of course, but I'm also monitoring what is termed as your North Polar opening
Are you
to
also,
allow or disallow peoples to come in.
that's your primary function up there? In
Indeed.
the North Pole?
Indeed.
Does it get boring?
No, it is a joy.
What do you like most about watching the North Pole opening?
To see the peoples that are ready to come, and what they are going through to get there.
Are there people who are coming in now
Indeed.
and they're allowed in?
Indeed.
How are they coming in?
By trying.
Trying. Are they walking?
No, not walking.
Okay. Are they driving?
Not driving either.
Flying?
Some,
Okay. Airplanes?
yes. And also aeroships.
Do you ever have any stuff just kind of falls out of orbit into the hole?
A bit. Satellites. Occasional aircraft.
What do you do with that stuff once it comes in?
Depends on the situation.
Seems like an aircraft coming in would represent pollution since you don't use any petro.
It is dealt with.
Okay. Are there those who attempt to come in you don't want to come in?
Those that are not ready to come in do not see the opening.
Is that by something that you're doing from your craft?
It's a holographic image of clouds. Weather. Most of the time it is cloud covered, obscured.
How do you determine whether somebody's ready to come in?
It is in through their heart.
So you can sense this?
Indeed.
What kind of range do you have on that kind of ability?
Range unlimited.
So they could be coming toward it, and you'll know they're coming?
Indeed.
Does everybody in Hollow Earth have that capability?
If they desire, yes.
Just have to tune into it?
Of course. Soon you will realize that you can do the same. Remember, you're not limited beings. You are unlimited.
I have the brain strain.
The only limitations you have are the ones you put upon yourself. You have a brain strain freeze?
Not a brain strain for now, just a brain strain. I've been going for a few hours, so. No, I'm really right now, just I can't think of anything. I've got you here. You know, a lot of the questions seem rather petty. But, you know,
Indeed.
people want to know, it's the kind of thing, so when you come up with, or you come here and you're delivering a message, then I try to think of the kinds of things that people might ask as they're listening to the message. And these are the kinds of things I'm coming up with. So.
Indeed.
Yeah. I've got nothing else. I'm at that point. I've hit the wall.
You hit the wall.
I've hit the wall. I just look in my book. I don't know what else to ask. Oh,
I find that quite a lot.
yeah.
You get many people wanting to ask questions, but when it comes down to asking the questions, they lose it.
Yeah, but I've been talking to Billy for a couple of hours too.
Indeed.
You
Yeah.
could talk about Hollow Earth.
Yeah.
What Hollow Earth is like, and what is life like?
What is life like in Hollow Earth?
And with the children, what do they do? What is family time like?
They are not limited. They are allowed to express themselves. They're allowed to be creative. They are not stagnated as they are on the surface. They are creative. They are inquisitive, questioning everything, which is understandable, but
When
like they question who they are, what their purpose is.
When do they start to ask that, since they're very evolved anyways and they're fifth
Indeed.
dimensional? And we also know that the pregnancy period is
The pregnancy period.
We could talk about conception, birth, how long it takes, when do they start to actually begin to even think and become creative.
From conception to what is called the birthing is 3 months. No more. And it is painless. There is no pain. Because pain is a negative, and there is no negativity.
So they're born.
Indeed.
Natural childbirth.
Of course. Actually in the ocean.
In the ocean.
In the Arctic Ocean.
No, in the ocean in what is termed the Hollow Earth.
Well, that's sort of a hole.
It is tropical.
It made sense.
It is tropical.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. And then, of course, now in here, people, children are usually, when they're born, they drink milk. So in Hollow Earth, are they also breastfed or given milk and fruit, or how are they?
Given fruit, not milk.
Milk.
No.
Sound like you knew the answer to that question.
No, I didn't.
No? They're not breastfed? What?
Yeah.
No?
Not breastfed. No. They are giving a solution that is a mixture of fruits, soft.
As babies.
As babies, indeed. They should do the same on the surface, but they do not.
So when do they really start to develop, as far as where they can begin to read and write?
Right away.
Right away. Right away.
Indeed.
A child is born,
Mm-hmm.
and when are they going to be able to read and write?
They will begin to reading and writing is not necessary
Oh, correct.
because of the telepathy.
And they do that as soon as they're born.
Yes, upon birth. And even before.
Correct.
How does the learning process work if there's no writing?
We have what is called the Pathologos Library.
Say that again a little slower for me, please. The
Pathologos Library.
Pathologos Library.
It's located beneath the Aegean Sea in Hollow Earth. It is where the people go to learn, but it is a different learning. It is an experience learning, and actually being at the event. You can learn much more by being in an event instead of reading about it.
This is interesting. I just read about a guy who had an experience where he was given a choice of what he wanted to learn, and he was interested in some ancient warfare or something like this. I can't remember what it was. It was Alexander the Great, I think. And they put him in front of the screen and they let him see it, smell it, feel it, experience it,
And touch it.
as though he were there.
Indeed.
Yep.
And that is the way it is in Pathologos Library. Say you wanted to experience what would be termed as the sinking of the Titanic. You are there, on the ship, experiencing it.
It's like a holodeck, or is this a screen? Or?
Similar to it, you have crystal discs made of crystal, and they are put upon a player, and they are played. And it is as if it becomes a reality to you. You are there. You intermingle and intertalk with the people there, or with another star system. The birthing of a world.
Tell us.
It sounds amazing. I mean, that you could, anything you wanted to learn, anywhere you wanted to go, you didn't have to go there. You don't even have to go to this place.
No, you do not.
To see it.
It is there in your mind, and you also experience it by being there. Learning is much greater capacity that way, and you learn much faster by experiencing what you're seeing.
So when a child is born in Hollow Earth, and again, the perception or my point of reference is from this world.
Indeed.
And then you're born with certain capabilities. He is Walter is very inclined with he's got great abilities with working with electronics, with lots of these technical things. Many children are also born with wanting to become artists, etc. So the children that are born in Hollow Earth, do they already have it in their genes as well? Which areas they're going to flourish in? I don't know I guess what I want to do is, I want to ask is about their DNA. I want to know about their genes. How does that all come to be?
Their makeup.
Yes.
Many of them choose before conception.
Okay.
And once they are born, then they have a predestined path.
Isn't that also derived from you and your companion?
Indeed, it is.
So they have some of your genes, so to speak.
Indeed.
As well as their own.
Yes.
They have, okay. So similar.
And they are free to express it. Contrary to what it is on the surface. On the surface, you raise your child, you send them to institutes of learning. And what do they learn? Nothing useful on this planet. Are they taught to care for nature? No. Are they taught to express themselves through creativity? No. They are told not to. They are told to be a certain way. We do not do this to our children. We allow them to express themselves, to allow them to be who they wish to be or what they wish to be.
Okay.
Which is what they should do on the surface, but they do not. And then your peoples, what is termed as your military government, issue things such as mandatory inoculations, which also hinder the development of the child. It takes away their ability of creation. It takes away their ability to be independent, to be free, to be expressive, to be creative, to their creative mind is hindered by drugs, chemicals.
So your daughter, the youngest, right now is far excelled already
Of course.
in many areas.
If she was brought to the surface, she would be considered a genius.
Thank you for coming.
Indeed.
Appreciate you taking the time. Do you have any other questions?
Thank you, Walter.
I'm spent. I'm done.
Walter.
I'm sorry, I'm done. I've got nothing left.
Oh, Zora has such wonderful
Yeah.
knowledge.
I have that effect upon peoples.
No. Not you.
You could stay for as long as you like.
Indeed. I know.
Anyway.
Anyhow, well, there was one other kind of theme thing in here that was, and Billy's already kind of talked about this 3 different ways, I think.
What is this?
This has to do with, and we touched on it a little bit, is, what does it take to get into Hollow Earth? And don't answer yet. I want to make sure I phrase this right. When will people have more exposure to Hollow Earth? When will it be made available to other people? Do you have to be a believer to be a part of it?
No, you do not have to be a believer. When they're ready, that's when the interaction will take place.
Is there something that people have to do to become ready?
Raise their consciousness levels, raise their vibrational levels, raise their energy levels. The exercise I taught you last night will help them achieve this.
And we're talking about meditation.
Not just meditation. Meditation is thought processes. What is termed as the rising of the consciousness levels, the exercise that was given. That is what will raise the vibrational levels and the consciousness and the energy.
Right. So.
Indeed.
Right. So with the hands and the exhaling through the teeth, forcefully.
Indeed.
That was part of that. Okay. I had looked at that as a preparation.
Of course.
For meditation.
It could be that too.
Okay. Got it.
Now, when you go to bed, have with you what is termed either a tablet or what would be termed as a recording device. And
Plenty of those.
And when you dream, before you retire, you state forth to the Lord God of your being that you want to remember your dream. And you Remember, by waking right afterward, and either write it down or record it.
So why is it important to record your dreams?
Especially nowadays, because you are starting to dream of your future home. That is why.
Interesting.
That is what your dreams were about last night.
I don't remember my dreams last night.
That is what I'm saying. Before you retire,
Yes. Yeah, he's telling me what my dreams are now. What, can you tell me what I dreamt last night? Because I can't tell you. he can say anything, really, right now.
of course, I could say anything and you would either believe it or not believe it.
You dreamed of hurdling camels and... Sorry.
No, you dreamed of going to Hollow Earth.
Yeah.
That's what you dreamed.
I remember it.
It will come to you.
Okay. I dreamed of other cool stuff, but I don't remember that.
Well, if your desire is strong enough, you will remember your dream.
Yeah. Well, I was telling Billy this morning that dreams are more easily remembered if right after you wake up and you focus on them. You think that. And
Indeed,
when
you can do this.
Yes.
But you can also wake up in the middle of the night and record it. What you dreamed.
Yeah, I've heard people having exercises where they'll set like a little timer. You know, go off like every half hour. Kind of wake them up so they can write down their things.
You have what inside you. You have what would be termed as an internal clock, and you can set it for whatever time you wish to arise. You can do this with waking in the morning. Instead of waking up at 9 o'clock, you could wake up at 7 or whatever by setting your internal clock.
And I can do that, but since Hollow Earth doesn't have time, you guys really don't need alarm clocks, do you?
Of course not. And time is an illusion as well.
Do you rest?
Do we rest?
No, do you rest?
That was what I said. Do we rest?
Singular, plural. I get it. Bring it.
Indeed. At times we rest, yes.
Okay. Well, there's the collective we. Billy talked about all one. And yet you have individually bodies.
But we are still one.
Okay. But there's still individual bodies. No?
Of course, but you are still one with a single mind.
Okay. There's a physical body?
Of course.
Okay. There's multiple physical bodies? Mentally connected as one? Okay. So the individual bodies can choose whether to eat or not, whether to sleep or not?
Of course.
Okay. I'm asking Zora, your individual body, do you sleep?
At times, yes.
Do you eat?
Of course.
Have you heard the term breatharian?
Indeed.
Is this something that you want, that you are?
Can be.
The other choice is fruitarian. No meat eaters down there?
No.
No.
You do not eat what you talk to.
Well, let's see. You can talk to the plants.
Indeed.
Well, do you eat that? Okay.
Indeed. But I'm speaking of what you talk with through telepathy. Anything with a face, you leave alone.
Okay.
We do not eat fish because fish we communicate with.
So what about singing orchids?
All our plants sing.
Do the strawberries sing?
And,
Do strawberries sing?
the plants do, yes.
The fruit doesn't?
The fruit is for nourishment.
Okay. Are there bees in Hollow Earth?
About that big.
How large are the strawberry blossoms?
Strawberry blossom.
Yeah. The plant's got to have a flower. The bees got to pollinate the flower.
Mm.
Flower becomes fruit.
Big. Bigger.
You
Big.
got blossoms that are this big.
Of course.
Is there a real estate problem down there where people
Real
live?
estate problem.
Well, think about it. You have these ginormous plants. You know, one strawberry, is that enough to feed a family of 4? You know.
Remember how tall they are.
Remember how tall we are.
Okay, all right. You're 15 feet, was it, or was it meters? I forget.
Feet.
Feet. Okay, 15 feet tall. So you're twice my height. More than twice my height. And still, a strawberry this big is still going to be, per person, 15 feet tall. You know, scaling is still, that's a big strawberry.
Indeed.
Do you have strawberry seed spitting contests? We have watermelon seed contests. Spitting contests. You spit the watermelon seeds
No.
to see how far they'll go. Yeah, I'm being facetious.
I know you're being facetious.
I had asked Billy to describe what the houses were like and what his room looked like.
Ah,
Perhaps maybe you could tell us a scenario you get up.
his room?
Yes.
Billy's room is round, of course. It circles within a circle.
Mm-hmm.
You have your home, which is the circle, and then you have your rooms that are circular as well, inside the circle. There is no corners for dust to settle. The furniture within the room, you have what is termed as a sitting device. It is round, it hovers above the floor, and you have your resting place, which is the same. He preferred not to have them, but he would prefer to go out and lay in the grass. So he let me be with Mother Nature, which we encourage him to do. The collective as a whole, the people in the hollow earth, they go to and fro in their daily activities. Activities could consist of going to Pathologos Library, or what is termed as being out with nature, or singing, or playing an instrument, or what is called going to other star systems, just from thought. You are not limited to hollow earth. You can go wherever you desire. So, yes?
So there's no, in terms of, like the mundane things of, I know that there are no corners, but here, even if you have a bed, you still have to make the bed. You still have to,
And you don't need to make a bed.
You don't have to make a bed.
Oh.
If you have a bed.
A platform to lay upon. It is soft, forms around your body.
Nothing to make it, sounds like.
I'm sorry?
It doesn't sound like there's anything to make up.
Nothing.
Nothing to make up.
Just
Indeed.
Just a platform?
Just a platform.
Sounds
No
very,
blankets.
sounds very Klingon to me.
Yeah. I know.
Very what?
Klingon.
Yeah.
Klingon.
Yeah,
That is a program on TV.
Yes. Star Trek.
Indeed.
The Klingons have platforms. There's no shades,
Yes.
no pillows.
No nothing.
Everything's very hard. in the Klingon world.
Well, they're-
Everything is very soft.
There, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, insofar as not having a pillow or a sheet or a
Yeah.
blanket.
and
Very
everything is
Spartan.
like hovering on top.
Okay, so how about, all right, so we talked about food a little bit, strawberries. All the fruit is big. You're all fruitarians. You're eating fruit. So does everybody grow their own food? Where do you go? I mean, here we go to the store, we go shopping, you give them money, you bring it home, you prepare the food, you eat it. How is that different from what's going on down in the Hollow Earth?
Hollow Earth, you go out, you pluck a fruit from a tree, you eat it. You have what is termed as multiple foods. I've been asked on what is termed, how does one defecate? Is there toilets?
Right, the sewage system. I mean,
There is none.
a water treatment system.
None
You
needed.
Take a whole lot back and take that
None needed. When you have yourself what is termed as a bowel movement, it is disintegrated upon exiting the body.
just disappears.
Indeed.
Did you know that?
That's interesting, huh?
That is interesting. So 3D man on surface walks into Hollow Earth being permitted and everything's squared away. Does he immediately become 15 feet tall and
It is a process.
yeah, okay. Is this something that he's put through by the people of Hollow Earth?
If the desire is to stay in Hollow Earth,
Mhm.
then he will begin his change.
Automatically? So no, like no buttons to push, really.
No, the gravity within Hollow Earth, whatever you weigh now, you would subtract that down to a third, and that's what you would weigh.
So you said you've had people come in from the surface before.
Indeed,
So, and there are people who have stayed.
indeed.
How long is this transition for them to becoming,
Some fast, some slow.
okay, here we go with time again. See, I'm setting an alarm clock. I want to know how many days, is it measured in days?
There is no time.
There is no time. So it's instantaneous, really. It's now, all is now.
Indeed.
Okay. So no distribution system, no sewage system, no sheets to wash, no dust, really?
No dust.
Well, there's dirt down there, right? Doesn't the dirt kind of kick up? Winds blow? Are there winds down there?
Gentle winds, not harsh at all, not heavy,
All right.
not strong,
So the bodies are different.
of course.
Okay. Epidermis, our skin's always flaking off. That's where a lot of dust comes from. So is that different from the bodies?
The bodies are pure.
All over?
So we don't have, there's no need for sips, no need for baths, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, everything is fresh, everything is clean.
Okay.
It is hard to conceive.
Huh? Or, yeah.
It is hard to fathom.
Yes. It sounds very much like a flight of fancy. Really.
People think of it as a Garden of Eden. That's the real Garden of Eden.
Yep.
Eden is one of the cities.
Is hell down there?
What?
Is there a place called hell down there?
No.
H-E-L-L. Okay. Because I've seen maps that put hell down there. Just curious.
Ah. Man's conception.
Where are the negative and evil, as far as, higher dimensional beings, where are they?
They're not in Hollow Earth.
No, I'm not talking about just Hollow Earth, Zora,
In-
because I know
inner-
that they are there.
Inner Earth.
You have two civilizations within the Earth crust that are always disagreeing with one another. You have what is termed as the Deros and the Teros.
Okay.
They are degenerates of the Atlantean culture.
Oh, really?
Do they look human?
Somewhat.
Are they greys?
No.
Are they reptilians?
No.
Deros or Teros?
Deros and Teros.
Some look somewhat human.
The Deros are more distinguishable toward human, whereas the others of the more of a degenerative being.
Where are they in that chair? Where do they reside?
They would be close to the 400-mile mark.
Hmm. And then how do you keep them at bay? How do you keep them at bay so that they don't, I don't want to say infiltrate, but...
They're monitored on a daily basis.
They're fifth dimensional, those two.
Hmm?
They're fifth dimensional as well.
They're actually in between fourth and fifth.
Okay.
Because they were from the Atlantean culture.
Yeah, so they don't have that. Okay.
Are you aware of the greys?
You mean the gray spacesuits?
I mean the greys.
I say again, are you familiar with, you mean the gray spacesuits?
I don't know anything about any gray spacesuits. I only know of them as...
They're humanoid inside them. They are a species of themselves, but they are not, the outward appearance you see of them is not what they truly look like. It is a shell.
Where do they live?
Hmm?
Where do they live on the planet?
They do not.
Yeah.
They are just visitors.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you familiar with the underground bases at Dulcine in Mexico?
Zora is familiar with all the underground bases.
The Agarthians that are on the surface of the earth are in control of what would be termed as the underground bases up to a certain level. The upper levels, from the Earth's crust downward, are still controlled by what is termed as the beings, military. Below that, they are being manned by what is termed the Agarthians.
What do the Agarthians look like?
The Agarthians look like you or I, not quite as tall as us, but similar.
Are they white?
Are they what?
Are they black? Are they brown? Are they yellow? Are they Indian, red? What do they look like? Okay.
Whatever the shade they wish to be.
Chameleons?
Hmm?
They're chameleons, you see.
If they decide
Decide on whatever shade
choose
they want.
whatever they want to be.
Okay. That's convenient.
Indeed, it is.
How would I know if I ever met a Agarthian?
Agarthian?
Yeah.
If your vibration is high enough, you will see them.
If they look like anybody else, how will I be able to tell them apart from a regular human?
Agarthians are quite are tall as well, but not as tall as us.
I know there's a lot of NBA players who are pretty tall. So, see that junior high school kid, 7.5 feet tall. Oh my God, he's still tall. Maybe he's Agarthian.
Indeed. So you have learned
Yeah, I've been fitted with a fire hose and I'm on overload right now. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's been good. It's good we're taping this, so I can watch it back and see what I missed.
Indeed. On that, I will leave and let Billy return.
Okay.
I'm sure you will have questions for him.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping.
And indeed.
Come again soon.
Good day, Zora.